Awesome. Here we go. Well, this evening, guys, you've got myself and Steve that are going to be hosting our call tonight, and we are so pumped to be bringing you some very, very special guests. And I know that you guys know who they are because I was blasting it all over the Facebook page earlier. So well done, everyone, for showing up. Once again, we're here on our Monday night team call, and we just want to honour every single one of you for showing up again in your extremely busy lifestyles, but you're here. And boy, oh boy, have we got a call for you guys tonight. And Steve and I first met these friends of ours just back in June at ISA Uni Auckland. And then when we were over in Brisbane at Good to Great with David Wood. And we had so much fun. The laughs were every single second. These guys have just got so much energy and so much vibrancy that you better have your notepad and pens or just get ready to really have your heart set on fire again. And there is no doubt in my mind why these guys are just winning every award at the moment. They are flying through. They're taking a beautiful team with them. So it's such an honor for us to be able to invite them on and come and chat with everybody tonight, and all of you guys that are watching the recording. So I'll give you a little bit of a story about these two, and I hope I really do it justice. But I'm sure they will jump on and they'll absolutely crush it straight after that. These guys, one was a former lawyer, the other was a paralegal, so very high-powered jobs, both living over in Australia in the Gold Coast, and have now been with Isagenix for 4 years, and we're going to dig into that a little bit more about what those 4 years have looked like. These two reached the rank of 6-star Golden Circle and have created 4 of their own executives. So they're crystal executives, and they've created 4 of their own, which is amazing duplication. They are in the Start 1000, which you guys know all about, the Start movement, and they've recently been announced as Start ambassadors for the Start movement. So you're going to see these guys all over doing so much, which is why they were so amped to jump on this call really last minute for us. So we're so grateful for that. They're the top 25 income earners in Australia, New Zealand. They've got a beautiful doggy. They're just as dog mad as we are, so we definitely relate on that one. And when Lloyd sent me this one, it cracked me up, and I really would love to know more about this. But they've been married twice, and Isagenix have paid for both weddings. So everyone, give a big cheer as we go forward. Welcome, guys.
Hello. Thank you for having us, and I just wanted to clarify very quickly, we have been married twice to each other.
Yeah. I was assuming that because I knew you were married overseas as well. We were assuming that.
Okay, thank you so much for having us on, and what an amazing introduction. Oh my goodness.
I should have got that on film.
Thank you. And look how many amazing people are on, sacrificing their Monday evening to be on this team call. So we are prepared to give you whatever you guys need. And yeah, we're really excited. New Zealand are on fire at the moment, so we're super thrilled and honored to be on this call. So thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm going to really quickly mute all the lines with, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to unmute you guys. There we go. Woohoo! All right, we've got a bit more clarity on sound there. All right, awesome. So we can't wait to tuck into this call. And really what we would just love so much from you guys is just really to get deep into before Isagenix, during Isagenix, where you are, and then where you're going and where you see Isagenix going, something that every single person that is showing up on this call week after week after week are really committed to growing. And, you know, we're seeing you guys growing so much and so quickly now, but we obviously know that that's come with such a backstory and so much commitment and dedication and work. And that's something that, you know, many people on this call are in their first year with Isagenix, in their second year, and then, you know, a handful of people in their third and fourth year. So these are who are showing up every single week. So yeah, what Steve and I would love to do is just get a little bit into starting off a little bit about your background. So if you could just tell everybody a little bit more about the legal and the paralegal side of the work that you guys were doing, and tell us a bit about your journey towards finding Isogenics?
Let me take you back. 4.5 years. Look, I became a lawyer. I've got 3 university degrees, so I went down the whole do university degree to try and make more money. That didn't work so well. I wouldn't encourage anyone to do that. They were heavy duty degrees, MBA, law, and pre-med. And that didn't really get me where I was wanting to go. I was in corporate, went into traditional business with my dad. We built a real estate marketing business over sort of 6 years, or rebuilt it from the GFC. And it was probably in my 2nd or 3rd year in that business that my sister said to us, my friend Andrew has spoken to me about this thing that helps us age better. I was like, what? She goes, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I'd love for you and Alisha to do it. And Alisha found out that it was weight loss related. And at that point, she'd done every diet under the sun. And I'd watched on in with humor as she'd attempted everything to get in shape. Meanwhile, I was eating KFC for every meal and I was out of shape. So then we tried it, didn't we? Went away, came back, tried it. It got results. And then went off it, came back on it because we lost the results. And so we stayed on Isogenics then for about 90 days. I lost about 14 kilos.
I lost about 8 kilos, felt amazing. Yeah, we never thought it would work. I'm sure anyone else on this call trialed the program, didn't think it would work, sent it back after 30 days. Anyone else on the call like that? But that was us, and we were, pleasantly surprised. And we were pretty much using the products for about 6 months. And then Brooke was just like, I'm going to this event and I don't want to go alone. Can you please come with me? And Lloyd, for those of you who don't know, Lloyd and Brooke Nielsen are brother and sister. So we didn't want to let Brooke go on her own. So we got dragged to this event. Fortunately, it was only an hour away in Brisbane, and we were pleasantly surprised. Okay, no,
the reality we knew it was network marketing. I was on Google just to try and check if it was a scam, yada, 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 yada. But I knew network marketing was legitimate. I just didn't know how legitimate this particular company was. So we went to this event and I expected guys in suits, ties, old men in toupees, people pretending to be in business, weird people. That's what I thought. I was like, this is what's going to be like. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to survive this for 2 days.
But I'm like the other side of the coin. I had no idea what network marketing was. None of my parents were ever involved with network marketing. So I went in without any expectations whatsoever. And whereas Lloyd, he obviously thought people were going to be in toupees.
Anyway, it was not like that at all. Walked in there and it was just amazing, high energy, exciting, fun. And then I saw that Jackson Parr had made $70,000 in a month. He was 25, I was 30. I had done all these heavyweight degrees. He hadn't. I was like, what am I doing wrong? I need to be doing what he's doing. Let's do this. And that's how it happened. And we flew. That was at peak momentum in Australia. So there was 1,200 to 1,500 people at ICU. Could you imagine? It was massive. Everyone was going platinum. There was even Planet Platinum from Nat Cook. It was obscene. It was just like, we walked out of there thinking we were going to go and make $1 million a month. It was just mad. It was just unbelievable how fast the businesses were being built. So that was end of 2014. And then as soon as we went to that event, we were told to go to David Wood at UAA in Perth. The last one of the year was on in Perth. We jumped on a plane and we flew there a month later. And that was where it all changed for us. We're like, oh my God, David Woods blew us away. And
he's coming to Auckland. He's coming to Auckland.
I wanted to pause you guys there if I could, because there was some real key pieces that you've just shared there. And I just want to dig on that a little bit further. Number one being that you said you used the products and then you stopped using the products, right? It's the person.
Well, briefly.
Yeah, just for like
a few days.
I went on a bender over in the Philippines with my mate of mine, and I was like a week.
And I just wanted to put some hope out there for people who, you may bring people on board and have some high hopes for them, and then they throw it all in, or they take the week off. It's very easy and quick to just go, oh, well, shame. And you can feel that bit of disappointment, right? Especially when you're pouring so much into your new cleansers. But it's that meeting people where they're at, understanding what's going on for them in their world. If they're going to go off to the Philippines and have a big old booze up, then so be it. But stay in communication. And so Who then introduced you? Was it your sister that introduced you and enrolled you into Askgenetics?
Yeah.
Yeah. She would have stayed in communication and support with you anyway. So there's just so much value in people staying in communication and staying in relationship with your new cleansers, who maybe did only jump on board for that first 30 days and thought, maybe we'll be sending it back. I mean, look, you know, where you guys have moved to and what you're moving on with now. I think that's just such a valuable takeaway for everyone, is build and maintain those relationships.
So you're at this event, yeah, and you're seeing Jackson Parr go platinum, and you're going, all right, he's only 70 grand a month. And obviously you've done all these degrees, and you came out of that event. Obviously you were still making an income, right, with your businesses. Yeah, it's not like you sacked it all in yet, right? And then you made this decision to go to David Wood. So what was the emotional decision behind that? Obviously you already had your business. You went to this one event for 2 days, right? Which 2 days isn't very long, right? When you probably didn't know anybody there apart from your sister, right? How did you make that emotional decision to just go, let's invest another 1,000 and fly to Perth? What was the discussion between you two, and how did you...
Well, I know you have to invest money in yourself and other things to earn money. That's, whoever doesn't understand that, just understand now that's what you have to do. I've never known that in my life. It doesn't make any sense to me. Of course you have to make an investment. It's crazy not to think that. So I just knew it was just like second nature.
And I think too, sorry to butt in, the emotional reason for us and the emotional reason that has been driving us so much is we both had great jobs. We both had well-paying jobs, but Lloyd was dropping me off in the morning, and then I wouldn't see him until 6:30 at night. And so we hardly saw each other, even though we were this couple. And the only time we really got to spend with each other was on the weekends. And before Isagenix, we were so tired and exhausted that the weekends were reserved for partying because we had no purpose in life. And then we'd sleep the Sundays away. So we never really had much time together. So going to ICU and seeing the possibility was, yeah, cool, we could make more money, but we're going to be able to have purpose and work together towards something and build something together. But not only that, we're going to be able to maybe, back then we didn't even think we could, maybe eventually leave our jobs and spend, every single day together, which we do now, which back then was like, cool. And Andrew Logan, he told us, you need to go to UIA if you want those things. And so what do? We listen to people that have what we want. And we were just like, yep, sure. So we got on this plane to Perth, had no idea who David was either. We just trusted in Andrew Logan, and we went. And ever since then, we always go, after that first event, we were all in. We were all in, but we have made so many mistakes over and over and over again. And it hasn't always looked this good, has it, babe?
It was a slow start. It was horrible. It was...
For anyone on this call that hasn't been to David Wood, there's an event coming up in a couple of weeks, next month in Auckland. So that's just an example, right? As Lloyd said, you know what these guys have created. You have to invest in yourself to grow yourself. So there's a good example if you haven't been to David Wood. And obviously just wanted to ask you another question as well. So you made this decision as a team, right? The two of you. How was that process? Was both of you on the same page from the day dot, or did you kind of have those moments where one person was and one person? And if you did have those moments, how did you kind of comprehend it and deal with it and work together effectively?
I mean, you see people, everyday people walking across the stage earning money, and so many of them at one point in time. The social proof of that event caused us to think, well, I think we can do this. And I think we both thought that, why if they can, we can. And so that was the beginning. And then out of that, we knew we had to develop some skills, but we knew we just had to learn through discovery. We just knew we'd make mistakes, and we had fun doing it. And we didn't have high expectations of ourselves. We just did it because we wanted to see if we could do it. You don't jump on a bike to ride a bike perfectly. You jump on a bike to have fun and enjoy yourself, and the challenge of seeing if you can do it without your training wheels. And that's the same as network marketing. We just did it and made mistakes after mistake after mistake, and just didn't lose our enthusiasm for it. And we didn't have, Andrew was making, 8,000 or 9,000 a week. My sister went to school with him. I knew him my whole life, but it never occurred to me that we needed to have that money straight away. You know, like it just didn't bother me. It still doesn't bother me. I could care less if someone's making 10,000 a week or whatever it is, or 20,000 a week versus us, because we're all on different journeys. It just doesn't even never phased us. So we never really even thought that we could have this much money or this much freedom. It was like, just go to the next point and see where we can go from there. It's like the horizon. You go to the horizon, you're like, oh, there's more horizon. And you go to the next horizon, oh, there's more horizon. So it started out for us just getting our products paid for. If we could do that, we could save money on groceries and we could spend the rest on holidays. Yeah. And then we did that, and now we can save our rent money, so we don't have to pay $600 a week here. And if we save $600 a week, that's 30 grand a year we're saving. 30 grand a year is a great holiday every year. Or it's, you know, building our passive income to never work again. This is what was going on in our mind. Like, if you can subsidize your current living expenses with a side hustle, why wouldn't you do that? It didn't occur to me not to do it. And so we just did it bit by bit. And we never expected to be doing team calls like this or being on stage. Nothing. Nothing.
Jumping on team calls to inspire others. I just love what you shared, and it's something I've always been really, really conscious of and passionate about, is that staying in your lane, is always being open to learning and being coachable, but just looking forwards. What is your next step? What is your next place to reach that you're wanting to get to? Not just because other people are, not just because they're making that or they're making this, but just knowing what your next step is and making that the next thing you aim for, that rather than 10 steps ahead. I love that.
Absolutely. I'll just touch on that too. It's just like, you know, the people who have gone before us, it just pours belief into us that it's possible. And I think that's what we've always believed, that if they can do it, we can do it too. But not only that, our business goals are very similar to our health goals. You know, whoever's been on this call who's had a weight loss goal, you never set out to, oh, okay, I'm going to lose 60 kilos. It's always like, I'm going to lose the 5 kilos. You lose the 5 kilos. Okay, cool. I've done that. Let's move on. And that's kind of how we've done it as well. Yeah. Bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. What are you going to say, babe?
You know, like now, for instance, I don't have any appointments. Well, I've got maybe 2 or 3 appointments this week. My job this week is to fill my diary with enrollment appointments, 3-way calls, and even help someone do a launch party. Like, even this week, I'm not thinking about millionaire. I'm not thinking about we talk about platinum and stuff like that, and we talk about these things, but the reality is I look at my phone and see what is happening in my diary this week. If there's nothing, I have to create something. I've got to create something. And so we go about creating it. What are we going to do today that's going to lead us to more appointments in our diary this week? What posts am I going to put on Facebook? What posts am I going to put on Instagram? What stories can I tell? How can I look at how other people are doing and improve on that and do it myself? And what books am I going to read? This is the tactics of the week. You know, like, how are you going to get that enrollment this week? 1, just forget about 10. How are you just going to get 1? I just care about 1. I don't have 10 up my sleeve. I've got to go and create 1 this week. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. But I'm going to do it. I'll figure it out, you know? And so that's what you have to realize. You'll just figure it out. But if you just keep going forward, you'll pick up skills, you'll learn new things, you'll speak differently, you'll invest in training inside Isogenics and outside Isogenics. You'll invest in personal development inside Isogenics and outside Isogenics. And you'll build confidence, you'll build skills, and you'll blow yourself away and go, oh my God, I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. I'm amazing. Wow. Maybe I can do it without my training wheels. Let's take the training wheels off. Oh, I fell off. Skinned my knee. Maybe I should put them back on. Get your training wheels back on. Keep the basics going. Take them off again. This is how you do network marketing, like riding a bike. Truly, absolutely.
Love it. Right? And just obviously, there's people on this call that have goals. You know, some of them might be to reach a certain rank, might be to, like I say, enroll someone this week, or it might be to create an executive. Obviously, you guys have created four executives. And that's from experience. It's no easy feat. You know, we know how hard it is, and I'm sure people on the call know. And you've created 4 of them. So, would you mind just sharing about like how this happened for you, and kind of some of the skills or tips that you've used to create them? But one other thing as well within that, when you're talking about the tips and skills, share about how you actually met these people. Did you know them before Isogenics? And if not, how did you meet them? What did you do to be the cause of that friendship or that connection, if you wouldn't mind, mate? Hopefully it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, one is Alicia's sister, so
One of our, one is my sister, and the other 3 we didn't know.
One of them is Seth. He's a buddy of mine from say 15 years ago. I knew him. That's how I knew him. It's on Facebook. I was just posting my body transformations. He was reaching out. I just called him up one day and said, "Mate, how you been?" Told him about the program he started. That was how he started for the products. And then we took him to UAA. And then with Alicia's sister, she started for the products. Then we took her to Celebration.
And she's also another one who, she went really, really slow. So it's just not like she came in, she saw us doing what we were doing, but she went really, really slow. And, you know, we've been doing this for nearly 4.5 years actually. And she hit executive of March of this year. So that's where, you know, you touched on it earlier, meet people where they are at, and it's their journey, and certain things come up in their life, but always continue building the relationship. And fortunately for me, it was my sister, so I'd always continue the relationship with her regardless. So Mel was she's one of our executives. Seth, you knew him before.
The other two, Clinton Tash and Reese and Vinay, we didn't know.
We didn't know. So
I did a fitness comp because when we were one-star executive, I was like, well, I need to be a key person of influence. I need to have a story, a really kick-ass story. I had a lose the beer belly in 2 months story, which is great. It helped. But I'm like, I really need a proper story here. I read a book called Key Person of Influence, and I was like, okay, I need to kind of like get shredded. So I was like, I'll do a comp. Did a comp. My PT referred me to other PT Clint, and I said, I've been using Isogenics. So I don't give me any other supplements because I'm staunch on my product. And he's like, that's cool. And so we won the competition. I went and won a bodybuilding comp. He was like, wow, that's amazing. I'm like, yeah, I did it with the products. He's like, I need to know more. We went for dinner with them. We enrolled them. They went 1-star in the first week. And from there, it was Reese and Vina we met online. I just sent a couple of messages out over Facebook. And they replied. I got on the phone, fired them up 3 or 4 times, and they enrolled. And we coached them to executive.
How many messages did you send out online? Obviously, you said you sent a message online, and obviously,
yeah,
wasn't just one message. I'm sure, was it? Did you send hundreds of messages out to people, and they just happened to?
I've sent thousands of messages online, but at that point, it was kind of new. We'd only sent maybe 100 or something.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that's the whole point I'm trying to share with people. Yeah. It's not just talking to one person, right?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I don't want to encourage people to go and build executives online. You'd want to develop executives from belly-to-belly relationships if you can. It's just that we hit a point in our business where the way we talk on the phone and the way we present and so on is effective enough, and we have enough success for those people to see our Facebook and actually know that we're doing this. We're living and we're walking the talk. That's how we enrolled them. But we wouldn't have been able to do that had we not gone through the previous 4 years of, you know, developing personal relationships belly to belly and events and lots of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's how we didn't know 2 of them, but we knew 2 of them.
Yeah. And, you know, it took us 2 years to get to executive. 2 years?
Yeah, it took us 2 years.
It took us 2 years to get to executive. It took us a year to get to manager. A year, by the way, just so you all know. And then we've only created our 4 executives in the last, year and a half, 2 years. So it takes time to build up your skills. And obviously I feel you've got to be executive before you can actually coach someone to be executive as well. So we had to go through it, and we're continually going through it. We're in the trenches day in, day out. Whenever we get on a team call, and if we're telling you anything on this team call, we are not telling you something we're not doing ourselves. So I feel like that's really important too. Like, we're always coaching on things that we're doing now that we know that are working, or we're testing them as well. So yeah, getting to executive first, and then obviously you're going to build up better skills to get to executive, and then you're going to start attracting better quality people into your business. And then obviously it's fun when you make executives, because it means you're getting your people paid.
It takes a while. You got to drag 100. Okay, this BS about like, don't run with one, don't drag 100. You've got to drag 100, okay, until a couple of them kind of get it, and then you run with them, and then you got to go find another 100 to drag, and then drag them, and then maybe 1 or 2 will pop. You have to drag them, because the duds lead to the studs too. Okay, we've got people in our business that are like ripping, and had we have not dragged someone for 4 years, we would not have found them. So be prepared to do both. Run with people and drag people.
And drag them to it.
This whole thing about you can't drag, you've got to drag. Come on, you can't just, you just can't. I don't know where that comes from. That's all very cliche, but you've got to drag and run. Okay, so the duds definitely the studs.
Or studettes.
Or studettes.
Oh yeah, totes the studettes. That's what the most.
But I will say one thing. The most important thing is you've got to be taking new people to events all the time. And you've got to take the old people to events and the new people continuously, over and over and over and over and over and over. Just never ever stop doing that. That is how they will share with one who will lead you to a stud. If you don't take them to events, they'll never have enough desire or fire to share with some people and do a launch party and stuff. So we talk about how to develop executives. Every single person who's ever rank advanced in our team has been to an event or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, truly. Yeah.
Well, New Zealand is on absolute fire with events right now. There's associate run events literally multiple times a week, Super Saturdays, Super Sundays, in-home events as well, like just all over the place. It's just absolutely popping. And, you know, hats off to everyone on this call who is so committed to hosting them or turning up at them or taking their people along to them. You know, it's just, as you can hear from Lloyd and Alisha, it's just, that is where the visions are truly, truly cast, where people find their voice, where people get to really feel amongst that community. It's just so, so valuable. So obviously we've got UIA coming up here in Auckland.
We'll be there.
Huge one. Are you guys coming over? Fantastic.
Yeah, we're going to try and build a big New Zealand team. So we're going to come over there and hang out with you guys. Learn how you get into momentum.
Oh, we'll be having it with you guys. But there's also IC Uni in Sydney. There's still so many events that are literally right up towards the end of the year. So, you know, if you still haven't got your tickets for that, if you haven't bought them yet, you want to be buying them the second you jump off of this call. And how many tickets can you afford to get, and how many people can you take with you? You know, put some incentives on for people in your team. That's something that we're loving doing, is putting on incentives for people to be able to get them there, get them tickets, take new people. I love what you shared. One thing that I really wanted to dig into, and I know it's such a massive thing in both of your lives, and you probably done a lot of work on it before Isogenics as well, is the world of self-development. And it's something that Steve and I are talking so much about, and we know that you can only grow your business to the extent you grow yourself, something we very first learned from David Wood at the very first event we ever went to in Isogenics. So where did your self-growth, personal development journey start? Was this pre-Isogenics, or was it during Isogenics when it was brought more into your world?
I think probably starts with your parents.
Yeah, values growing up.
Yeah, like we were always, Alicia's got a commerce degree. We finish what we start. We understand hard work pays off. Show up, have good manners. Talk to people. I don't know, those basics. You know, like do what you say you're gonna do. Just those values, I think, is where it starts. And I'm just blown away by how many people don't have those values, you know. And so that's where it begins. The smallest things, smiling with people, saying hello, these real fundamentals. I guess that's where it started. And from an official standpoint, it would have been probably ICU. Yeah. Like just a couple of videos, like everyone's in tears and like all right. That's probably where it started. And then from there, it went to UAA a few times, and then we did the bridge with Preston and Lexi, and that was a game changer. If you haven't done that, do that. Then we did NLP. We're certified NLP coaches now. Like we're going to continue. Like the more uncomfortable we can make ourselves better. We've been in the most emotionally confronting situations on purpose.
Love it.
And you you just throw yourself into absolute fear. Like fear is your compass. Go on and do it. Be afraid. Don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just like we're all going to die anyway. Like what's the worst that can happen? We're all going to die. So it doesn't really matter. Like just experience as much as you can. Pull as much out of your body and your performance of your brain as you can. Be like, why wouldn't you want to level up? you know, and go Super Saiyan. Like, what are we capable of here? And so I like to push the boundaries. We share that. Like, we know we have to grow to grow our business, confidence, and how to talk to people, how to coach people. Like, you can see after you're doing a lot of personal development, as you guys will all do this, and I encourage everyone to keep doing personal development, but applying it to your business is important, because if you just have personal development, it's not really going to change anything unless you can implement it. But it's fascinating when you have a certain element of Super Saiyanhood, when you're coaching people, just how much stuff they project. And it's so effective when you're dealing with people, because there's so much angst built up when you're starting out with someone on a weight loss journey or a business journey. There's so much built up, just like, I can't do it. And there's a lot of negative self-talk. So just understanding how that works in your own mind and your own body is important, because if you're going to be a coach, you must be your first client.
Mm-hmm.
Do not coach people things you have not done. And so that comes back to the family values we have. We don't suggest or coach people on things we haven't done. That is absolutely incongruent. Like, I don't know how people are doing it out there. It just doesn't make any sense. And so we know if we're going to ever coach our team on any situation and scenario, we had to have been through it ourselves. The only thing we haven't been through is building this business with a baby. And so
we do have a miniature dash.
We do have a miniature dash, so we kind of, but you know, like, we just want to be in every situation, you know, like, so we can relate to everybody and have stories for every scenario, because it's what gets people through. You know, so that's why we only coach on things we've done. If we tell someone to go and talk to 100 people in one day about our strengths, we've done that. If we go and tell people to go and do this, we've done that. It's just the only way you can do it, I think.
Same with a double cleanse.
Like, it all comes back to the basics, right? Like, just do it before you coach it. The reason being is that you've got to tell stories about how you overcame things. That's what inspires people, and they'll relate better to stories than just you barking orders at them too.
Mm-hmm.
So to be a really great coach, you absolutely have to have been through all the things that you'd expect someone to go through to be successful in business.
Yeah, hard out, absolutely. And there's that, I think that leads me on to the next section that I would really like to pick your brains at. And I know everyone on this call who follows you or knows what you guys are about, I think that holding that relatability to people is just so huge. When people can feel they can relate to you, you've had that experience, or you can empathize with it because you've been through it, like everything you just said. I think that, from what I can see, is what really helps you guys develop the team culture that you've got such beautiful skills in creating. So I would love to just learn a little bit more from you guys. I think everyone will get so much value from this, is how you go about creating the culture within your team of belly to belly, showing up, boundaries, you know, everything you've spoken about. How do you bring that into a team culture that you've created?
You have to be authentic. If you're not authentic, then you're going to attract people that just aren't with you, and you're going to have a team that breaks apart and it's hard to manage, and there's a lot of bickering and politics and stuff. So be authentically you, and you'll attract those people into your business. And when you've got people like you, it's so fun and enjoyable because the banter is just unbelievably funny. And so you can tell the ones that aren't like you because they don't really stick. We've had a few directors go director and then go to the director graveyard because they just haven't meshed with, they just haven't meshed with the culture that we have. And so be robust in your culture. So your values are important. So like absolute support, but also rewarding performance,
yes,
and not rewarding anything but that. Having a hard line and making sure that you're doing the leading. Like if we are saying to our team, get to Fiji, we're in Fiji.
Yeah.
If we're saying get to peak performance, we're at peak performance. If we're saying enroll 10 people this week, we're striving to enroll 10 people in a week. You have to be in the trenches with your team, leading from the front. It is the only way to do it. And if you want to build a good team culture, you have to be that leader. And so if it's going to be, it's up to me. You've got to be showing up when no one does. You've got to give hope to everyone and keep none for yourself. You've got to go to the events without people. You've got to go to the launch parties when no one shows up. You've got to do the op meetings when no one shows up. You've got to innovate. You've got to test things. You've got to be the front runner, and people will respect that authentic you enough where you'll build a great culture, because every great culture starts at the top. and every toxic culture starts at the top. So if we act a certain way and we set values and set benchmarks, our team will lift to that. And so we have to be that. We just have to be. And so it'll just form. If you were doing all those things, it'll form and people will just follow you. But when you stop showing up and you say things that you don't do what you're going to say, it'll start to leak down and you'll start to get resentment in your team and things like that. And so, yeah, we have got a very fair culture. We've got a very fun culture. You can't not have fun. We put fun into everything. And I think that's what really helps as well. So it's not always too serious and too stiff. Can't be too stiff, you know? So, I don't know.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. I
can't
go
see
first.
the chat, but I think it will be going off.
I just wanted to ask you about the vision for Ice Gents. Did you want to share anything before that? Before we got that far?
Yeah, definitely. Got a bit more digging to go. There's so much.
This is a massive team call, by the way. I've never seen 61 people on the call before.
These guys love showing up.
Yeah.
Love showing up.
Is that Shelley from corporate? Shelley's iPad?
No. No, you pay Shelley.
Sorry, we're interrupting.
Well, not that I'm aware of. I didn't send her the link.
We're just having a little stalk to see who's on the call. Hello, everybody.
Andrew pop up there. We know you got an action coaching team, Andrew. We're friends with one of his friends.
Yes, Mr. Andrew, absolutely. Well, one thing that I think you've really you've gone into already, but I think it's just great if we revisited that, was what is some of your daily, and you're in the trenches and I love that, what are some of your daily habits? What do the guys on this call want to take away that they'll be able to write a list of and go, oh, if I can give myself, because I think the numbers and the realism around the numbers is so beneficial for everyone to revisit or hear for the first time. So what are kind of some of your daily activities look like for you guys?
So first and foremost, it might sound really obvious, but to some of you it may not. We actually take the products. So we actually have the products, we put the products in our body to make us feel good. And, you know, we are the products of the product, no doubt about that. And it just, if you're taking the products and you're feeling good and you're doing your cleanse days, when you start talking to people, your belief and your energy in the products will show. If you're not, it will show. So I guess that's the foundation, obviously, is to put these products into your body, and that will transpire to when you talk to anyone. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, and the objective of that is to create a story. So the reason why people find it hard to do marketing is because they don't understand how to tell a story, and it's the essence of marketing. Network marketing is telling a story to people in your network, okay, that happens to have a product at the end of it that they can buy. That is it. And then it's about coaching people how to do the same thing. And that's the essence of network marketing. So if you don't take the products and you haven't developed that really inspiring story, go and do it.
Yes.
Like I was in the gym trying to create this story around my body and this 8-pack I was trying to create. I was just like, millionaire, 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 every morning, millionaire, millionaire. I was just on my mind like all the time. It was just how badly we wanted it. I was like, I need to create a really big story. And that's what got us to 2-star executive, because we were just enrolling so many people with those before and after pictures. We were sharing, we share our own journey. You'll see Alisha, she'll pop up. She got a rig like in amazing condition in 4 weeks following the products and doing some training. And she posted a few times and she enrolled like 10 people out of that. So
we're continually doing it. Like, you know, I entered a pageant. I've signed up to a triathlon. Lloyd did it, his competition. We're continually building stories, not only like just to build our belief, obviously, in the products. And then it's amazing when you're talking to someone, how a little bit of that story just comes out because you've been through it. You don't have to make it up. So it comes out authentically. So, you know, number one, like if you haven't done a 30-day program ever this whole time, I would highly encourage you to go and do that and put the products to the test. If you have, but you haven't done a 30 days, like when we did that 4 weeks, I felt amazing. I was like, oh my God, this is what I felt like at the very beginning. Go and do another 4 days and put the products in your body, and you're going to create a new story. You're going to create some more photos. And then, as Lloydie said, it's all about telling a story. That's what marketing is all about. So
Alicia's got like 50 30-day stories.
Yeah, I do.
Like she must have 100 before and afters. I must have 100 before and afters. Do a face one, do a body one, do a relationship one, do a personal development story. Do it like there's stories everywhere you can create. But if you're not living your life and stepping up to the plate to put yourself in a position to win or lose, you ain't developing a story to inspire people. Be okay with stepping up to the plate. We did Toastmasters for 2 years. People see us, if we present well at any point in time, it's because we trained for that and coached for that. And we enrolled some great people from Toastmasters. You know, you meet people along those journeys as you're developing the story. So I think it's always engaging in a journey or a story in our lives that's important. So that's what we post about. And so getting back to the basics, we're always posting once or twice a day on Facebook, sometimes on Instagram, depending on how we're feeling and how much time we have. And then
I love Instagram stories, just so you all know.
Instagram stories is good. What else do we do? We message, we DM. So we direct message people. We send them happy birthday messages. We ask them how they're going. We've got a Facebook friends list we printed out. We just go through it methodically. We sit down and talk to people, just how you going. We do challenges every so often and we send them we'll do 10, 20 messages a day and send it out for our challenge. It's pretty basic. It's pretty monotonous. It's nothing wild. We're always trying to belly to belly meet new people. Like we went to F45 and started there to meet some people. We've got 4 enrollments there. One of the trainers enrolled. We went in there with no intention, but just to connect and make friends. They see stuff on Facebook, they do stuff and they get started. And then we're going to take 1 or 2 to an event. And then maybe they get the vision. They find someone in Colombia who is the next Jackson Parr. Who knows? I don't know. Like we just do the basics over and over again and teach our team the basics. So.
And I think, sorry, just a really important point to bring up. And Zach Loban said this to us a while ago when he was on a team call and he was just like, he never has expectations from anyone. And that might seem like, ooh, I don't know about that. So when we, bring someone in, be it for like the products or the business, we never like have these massive expectations that they're going to do X, Y, and Z. We pretty much just go, okay, next, okay, next. And we just, move with the motion sort of thing. So that's, I guess, is a massive thing for us, isn't it?
Yep. Massive.
Yeah. Love. Thank you for sharing that, because it's just so, I got so much from that, just hearing you be a product of the product over and over and over again. But it's like, where else can you take it? You can get those epic before and afters, but what next? What haven't I tried? Where else can I?
I went vegan for 30 days because we have vegan products and I wanted to, again, can't coach what you haven't done. So I was like, I want to go vegan, see what this whole thing's about. And I'm going to blog about it and journey about it. And then I enrolled someone. And so now I've used the vegan story in enrollment calls so much because vegan is trendy. So I'm like, we have great vegan products. In fact, I did vegan for quite some time like you and yada, yada, yada. So what happened to me? And
relatable.
Just try stuff. Go and suck it and see, test and measure.
Yeah. So good. I hope you guys are writing down the next 30 days that you're mapping out for yourselves, everyone on this call.
I love it. Yeah.
Who's committed to going vegan for a month?
I know. It's just amazing. Like
commitments in the chat box now.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Lord of the Fries is his favorite restaurant. I don't know if you have that in NZ. Lord of the Fries. Never.
I think there is one in Auckland. Maybe if you're not going vegan, maybe you want to enter a challenge, enter a competition that's coming up, or get yourself to a new gym or a new group fitness. Go meet new people. I think that's just such the real salt of the earth people is who we want to be meeting. And it's like, just go and do things that you enjoy. Join a new netball team or sports team.
To be a networker, you've got to plug yourself into the community. That's all. That's it. You've got to plug yourself in the community. So either plug yourself into online communities or plug yourself into offline communities, or do both.
Yeah. I think there's so much value in the offline, isn't there, where you can be face to face with people. They're going to see action and changing.
I just have a quick question. Just before we talk about, I want to talk about your vision for the future and around why Isogenics for you guys. I want to just ask you around when you're communicating with people and enrolling people. One of the things, we've struggled with in the past, I'm sure other people have struggled with in the past, is how do you go about, because obviously people dwell, people think, people can't make their minds. It's just part of life these days, right? How do you, when you're talking to people, create urgency so that, you know, they're kind of ready to go straight away? And what kind of, if you share a little bit about that.
Sometimes we do these challenges. We'll run a challenge on the back of a promo, like 10% off, and we'll just say 10% is running out. Do you want to save the money or not? Didn't want you to miss out. That would be one way. Another way would be, hey, mate, I'm just processing another pack at the moment. Did you want me to process one for you too? What else? Urgent, like, I don't know, we post a lot on Facebook specifically towards them, so they'll see it.
That's
like we'll be messaging them in Messenger, and then at the same time we'll post a story relatable to them, so that the algorithm then sends that post to them. We sort of add them to our cleanse page. They see a few before and afters. We'll do another challenge, and then we'll go back to that list and hit them up again and say, hey, we're doing another challenge. I know we spoke 4 years ago, and I've been speaking to you every day since then, and I know you know all that stuff. We do the same. It's very much the same. The only way you can actually get around it is to go and find new people.
Yes.
So you've just got to be finding new people. It kills you to go back. I have lists that go on forever, and I actually go in, I just delete them and just get a new list. I was like, I'm sick of looking at those 50 people on that list. I'm just going to delete them and start a new one. It just goes, fresh list, number 1. And I just go back to the very beginning. And I just can't be bothered looking at it again. It just kills me because those people just drain you, right?
Yeah.
And so does that make sense? It's easier to find someone than it is to raise the dead. And so.
But if you're consistent with your Facebook blogging and stuff like that, when they're ready to make a change, they'll message you. I feel that way. Like, there's people in our, some of our customers that they knew we were doing ice drinks 3 years ago, and they've only just gotten started now. So I feel like, you've definitely got to be speaking to a lot of people, so you don't dwell on the people that haven't gotten started yet, because that's painful. And that's what it was like at the very beginning for us. It was like, oh, have they messaged yet? Oh, have they messaged? Like, it's like going on a date and hoping the guy messages you. You're like, no, go and date 20 people and then he will message you, sort of thing. So it's like the more conversations you're having, be a player. No, the more people you're talking to, they will. And that's when you hear that expression, oh, they're falling from the sky. No, you're just talking to a lot of people, and the probability has increased. So definitely. Urgency around campaigns, the 10% off. Like, I hope, really hope and pray that you all took advantage of the 10% off, because it was such an incredible promotion. That's kind of how we create urgency. I don't think we do it any other way that we know of. Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I think that'll add so much. I haven't been checking the chat, so what is going on in there?
I just saw player.
I just think that the fuller that funnel is, that's when people start dropping out at a faster rate. You keep connecting, you keep being relatable to people, you keep building your community, building your network, and of course that's where you're going to see people showing up.
I loved it that you said, is that you try new things, you go into a new gym, or you're meeting someone new, or you go into a new community group, or you're trying a new challenge, or you're reading a new book. You're always taking action, doing things every day. And if something doesn't feel right, something doesn't align, you feel like you're in a little bit of a lost place or a funk, then you know that you need to take action, because if you sit in the funk for longer, it just gets worse and worse. And that's what you guys have obviously made very clear tonight. A good example of that, Steve, is that I had a PT for 3.5 years, and he didn't join my business in the end. And I was like, why am I doing this? This is pointless. So I just left. And then I was like, I was going to a barber, and he was the same. I was like, why am I doing it? And I left. And then as soon as we went to F45, we enrolled a few people straight away, and then went to a new barber, and he started this week. Like, you've got to create opportunities for yourself. Got to do that. You've got to edit your life ruthlessly and often in network marketing. Love that. That's amazing, eh? Yeah, I'm sure you guys can get a frothing over that one. Eh? If something's not working for you, if you're going to your barber and he's not joined your business yet, you need to go to another one. All right.
I'm just seeing here, I knew Nat was going to be going off in the chat about F45.
And F45, how amazing is F45? Simple training, yet they charge a fortune. But anyway, I only know that because I'm in the fitness business. So I'm raising my prices now. So anyway, just to finish off, I want to just talk to you about your vision for the future with Isogenics. Now, whatever you guys probably touch, you turn to gold because you're so committed to it. So, you're giving your whole life essentially to building Isogenics, okay, your whole life. Because the truth, tell me why you know, what your vision is for Isogenics and why you see Isogenics aligning with you so much every day to give them whatever it takes for the future. With my share of anyone on here that's kind of still in that kind of lack of belief, struggling with a vision.
Yeah. You want to go?
Go first.
Okay, so if you want to have an amazing life and a lot of wealth and choice and options in your life, you cannot be an employee. Got that? You just can't. And so if you read enough books about Robert Kiyosaki and many others, you'll just see it. And you'll see all these people who are wealthy and excited and fun and doing big things. None of them are in a 9-to-5 job. So that's the first thing. Just accept that and understand you've got to start a business. When you understand that, then you've got to understand what types of businesses are out there. There are franchise businesses, there are online businesses, there are offline and online, and there are capital intensive businesses where you have to outlay a lot of capital. Traditional and network marketing style businesses, affiliate businesses, e-commerce businesses, and a few others. There's not unlimited types of businesses, but there's a lot out there. The reason why network marketing is going to be the best business for 99.999% of you and us is because you can't lose your house over it, okay? So if you're worried about financial stresses of owning a business, you are all very lucky. You are so lucky you've got Isogenics because the financial risk of this business is non-existent. It doesn't exist because you're just spending the same money you would have spent on your groceries and alcohol and stuff anyway. So there's absolutely no risk in this financially. You don't have to mortgage your house. There's no amount of capital required over and above $575 Australian to buy a pack and then to top it up for $8 a day. That is the investment, okay? You have to buy some event tickets here and there, yes, and do some PD, but it's not a capitally intensive business. For other businesses, you've got to go and borrow money, all right? Then if you're going to buy a big business like a McDonald's franchise or a coffee franchise, it's 1.2 million, whatever it might be, clear equity. It is, that's not borrowings, that's clear equity. And then you have to be fixed in that business and hire 15 staff and train them and coach them and buy inventory and do your books and do your accounts and pay the lease and pay the franchise fee and go over franchise agreements. And then you're stuck in one place and they're working 6 days of the week. That is business. If you buy a coffee shop or a traditional business, that is your life. If you think you're on your phone a lot now doing Isogenics, go and buy a coffee business. You will be so uninspired by that if you're uninspired by this. So just understand that network marketing is the very best business for 99.9999% of entrepreneurs. It's the business of choice, okay? And if you can't build a network marketing business, you are going to die and get crucified in the world of traditional business, okay? The amount of skills it requires to be great at business are very similar to what it requires to be successful in network marketing, except for you don't have the financial stress, okay? You don't have all the other stuff to do. So if you commit to being a great network marketer, you will learn the skills of what it takes to be a great business owner. And people like Russell Brunson and people like Robert Kiyosaki and people like, you know, these spearheading business entrepreneurs, most of them have had a play or have been somewhat successful in a network marketing business before because they've learned the skills of marketing. They've learned the skills of selling. If you hate selling and you hate marketing, don't ever get into a business because that's exactly what you got to do there. But then you got to do all the other stuff, right? So there's affiliate marketing e-commerce. I did a live on my Facebook. If you go and watch it from this week, so Lloyd J. Ross is my Facebook. If you watch that live, I go through 7 ways of building a business online. Okay, there's multiple ways. The other way is you've got to pay for Facebook ads. You've got to pay. You've got to find a product, develop it. You've got to do so much stuff. And some of these things like affiliate businesses, there's one going around at the moment that everyone's jumping into, which really annoys me. It's $10,000 to start up. People are mortgaging their houses. You don't need to do that with Isogenics. So understand that network marketing is the absolute vehicle. If you have an entrepreneurial bone in your body, you would be right at home with network marketing. In saying that, Isagenix is the very best network marketing company in the world. It is in the world. You just have to believe it. You'll build your belief, and it might take you a short amount of time or a long amount of time. But Isagenix is the best. They are the Apple and they are the Amazon of network marketing as an industry. They just are. They're doing things in the industry that everyone else is copying or trying to copy. The reason why it's an amazing business is because A, we solve a real freaking problem. We solve a real problem. People aren't dying from tap water in the Western world. People are dying from diabetes. They're having crappy lives because they're overweight. They're dying early. This is the major problem we're solving with Isagenix. That's why it's becoming the best in the world. It's a real problem. And in business, the bigger your problem you can solve, the more income you can make. Okay? So you're in the right industry. You're in the right market with health and wellness. You're in the right market. It's a mega trend. And Jim and Kathy Coover are the most incredible business leaders I've ever seen and been a part of and met. Truly. I've been at the highest level of corporate. I've got friends at the highest level of banking internationally. Some of them hold C-level positions. I went to school with them in university, right? I graduated from the best business school in Australia and the best law school in Australia. And so some of those guys are some of the smartest people on the planet. And some of the people they work for are nothing like Jim and Kathy at all. And the companies I've worked for are nowhere near as good as Isagenix. The way you get treated in this company and the way they are with everything they do, it is all world class. It's world class. You will not find a better company than Isagenix for a network marketing business ever. So it's either this or go back to your job, okay? Or go and try and mortgage your house and get a traditional business and go kick ass there. But there's no other better network marketing vehicle or affiliate marketing vehicle than this. You may find something you can make money in, but it's going to be boring and lonely, okay? And you won't be able to help your friends and family build financial freedom if you're having a traditional business because it's just not the same. You can't have that flexibility. Isagenix is the best, period. And if you don't understand that yet, start winning some of the trips and start going to global celebrate. I feel that the whole world is shifting in how they're working. People are not full-time anymore. They're part-time. But Uber and Airbnb and those types of things are unexciting. And so Isagenix is the best business to start as a side hustle in your spare time and build it up to something big. But to do that, you've got to invest in yourself and become a better person and become great at business. You've got to become great at business. Learn to sell. When you're great at it, it's fun, okay? And at the end of that journey in 10 years, and it's not 5 years, it's not 4 years, it's not 3 years, it's 10 years. It's 10. Commit to the journey of 10. What other journey would you want to go on? Do you know how boring it would be for me to sit at the beach? Oh, gross. That would be so, I'd do it for 5 minutes and I'd be bored. I'd be so bored. Do you know how many, like you can go on holidays, go to Thailand, but it's boring in the end. You need something with purpose. This is amazing. You're transforming people's lives financially, physically. People message you saying, you literally saved my life. How can you not be excited about making money from that? There is nothing, I've never seen anything more exciting than this. And the reality is people are looking at this going, oh my God, I wish I could do that with them. Unfortunately, they don't have enough self-belief to think they can do it. If everyone really knew what we have here, everybody would be doing this. The way my friends work in their jobs as investment bankers sucks. It's horrible. And we earn more money than anaesthetists who study for 20 years in medical school. We earn more than them in 4 years. And we sucked. You will never find a better opportunity than this with Isagenix, with network marketing, or with you if you commit. Do not go elsewhere. Stick to this. It'll repay you and you'll have a load of fun doing it at the same time.
I think that very well answered Steve's question.
Love it, mate.
That is incredible.
Thank you.
And so right. If people truly knew what was happening here in Isagenix, there would be no need to create urgency. You know, we've just got to be that light. We've just got to keep shining that light. And guys, you can just leave this call tonight feeling that fire building up inside of you. Go and send those voice messages that you might not have been feeling brave enough to send. If there's ever a time you want to take action, it's when you're feeling empowered and inspired like that. Just incredible. Alisha, did you want to add anything on to that, babe? I think that was very, very well done.
Alisha, when she goes and we get in action, she's amazing in the business. Now, when she gets into action, she puts on her what she calls her bulletproof vest, and she does it up, zip, and then she goes and messages people. Like, she puts on her armor, zips it up, and then she goes at it. And so if you're going to go and do stuff and you're fired up, every single day get up and understand the mission you're on, and just get into action every day. Don't worry about what comes back.
Just
awesome.
Phenomenal.
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah,
I don't think there's anything else.
Giving your time, you've given so many awesome stuff. I think we all know from this call what we need to do and what we need to create in order to make this work for our lives. And just, you know, just the passion that you've got for it and the belief. I mean, hope everyone on the call can really see that and see from all the experiences you have why this is the way to go forward. So yeah, guys, well, we acknowledge everyone's time. It's 10:01. And we will,
all of those that are asking for the recording, I'm going to post it up in the team page so you can have it straight away. Absolutely. I think I'm going to rewatch this first thing in the morning because I want to be able to write. Guys, we couldn't be more grateful to have you as Start ambassadors and real pinnacle leaders in Isogenics, and being willing to jump on our team call just a few hours beforehand we're so eternally grateful for that. If we can ever repay the favor, we're always here to support you and do that. So guys, feel free to come off mute, just give a shout out to Alisha as we round out tonight. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rosses.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So good.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks,
Love
guys.
you guys. Thanks, Tim.
So much.
Thank you.
Guys.
Love you guys.
See you in NZ.
Bye.
UIA. Boom.
Team UIA.
Bye, team.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.